But stay tuned for next week's song. I've got a good one for you.
Well, on this week's show, we do have someone else for you.
Good.
We've got former Scotland international, former Rangers midfielder, former Hearts legend, former Inverness Caledonian Thistle, former Blackpool, former Blackburn. Played with one of the Turkish legends, Tugay. Turk, who is it?
It can only be Ian Black.
Mr. Angry, Mr. Controversy. Great conversation with Ian. So let's see a little bit about Ian now.
Clark was brilliant all day, got himself a couple of goals. Big moment from Dan Barrisville getting a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Ian Black will get a special cheer as well. That will be in the Black Family album very soon, that picture. Just before.
Right, proper cult hero, isn't he? Do you see the roar that went up when he lifted the cup up?
And not only that, the passion of winning, and you could just see how happy he was that.
As a football fan, that's what you want to see from your players, isn't it? So even when you've got your players that are probably not as technically gifted, but when they play with that sort of passion, heart on their sleeve, mate, you know, that's what as a football fan, that's what you want, isn't it?
100%, 100%.
Without further ado, let's try and get Ian on. Ian?
Hello, mate. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good.
Top man, Ian. Top man. I'm going to try and get your mic turned up a little bit, mate. We've played a couple of videos. We're going to do a bit of a video in regards to sort of what your achievements are and a few little bits and pieces. Pre was just saying that he called up Craig Levine to get a bit of feedback in regards to your international debut and whatnot. He's got a nice little story about that. So yeah, we're going to start off nicely. Just in regards to you starting off with Blackburn. Turk was absolutely buzzing as a proud Turkish man that you may have trained and been around Tugay.
Yeah, no, I was fortunate enough to obviously play for Blackburn when he was there. And he was a really nice guy, down to earth, and what a player he was. Technically, one of the best I've ever seen. About my height as well, which was quite good. So, a good lad, good player.
Did he smoke as much as you, Ian?
He did. More than me.
It's funny you say that because I mean, growing up watching Turkish football myself, he was one of the players that I used to always watch, and you could see the technical ability that he had. But coming into the Premier League at that time, when there was a load of other good midfielders, if you look back at and talk to some of the people that have played with him, they've all said exactly what you just said. They've said one of the best gifted players that they've seen, concede a ball, see people making runs, technically very good. So was he that good? Was he, you know, as everyone says?
Yeah, like out of this world, just his awareness, just what everything that was around him. And his first touch was, you know, everybody talks about Berbatov's first touch now. I'm sure Glenn will be happy with that. But he's just a genius with the ball. Do everything. Yeah. So just everything about him, just great to learn of.
What was you doing in regards to sort of training? Was you training with the seniors at that stage, Ian? Was you kind of in there with them, in and around them, or was it more a case with sort of the youth teams at that stage?
We were youth. It was always youth, but then obviously on merit, you would go down and train with the reserves, stroke some first team players that would be passed into the reserves for squad wise. So no, it was just obviously if you were doing well at the time in the youth set up and academy, then you would go down on merit and try and obviously break into the reserves before you went into the first team. So it was a good incentive, but I was quite fortunate. I got quite a few opportunities to go down and rub shoulders with some good players.
So Ian, to understand a little bit more about your journey did you start off did you play schoolboy football for Blackburn? Did you start off getting your scholarship there, or did they sign you from up north, or how did it work, mate? How did you get down to Blackburn? What's the story?
I was just playing like local boys club. as you do in Scotland. That's just sort of the way it goes about up here. You play with your boys' clubs, and scouts will come and watch. And then I had a few other opportunities down south that I could have chose, but I felt more comfortable going to Blackburn, so I ended up deciding going there and doing my 3-year YTS, as they called it back then, scholarship now.
That's a scholarship, yeah. And then you got offered your pro, what, at 17, 18?
Yeah, I think my contract was, I think it was what I signed was a 1-year YTS and a 3-year pro. So,
fantastic!
Again, I was quite lucky to get quite a good deal.
And at the time, there was Graham Souness the manager. So around that time.
I missed you there, I lost you there, sorry.
Sorry, I was just saying, at that time, was it Graham Souness that was the manager?
It was, yeah. He was some man to work on.
Is that kind of the reason why at that stage they were signing a lot of the Scotland?
Too much on that one.
You can't go into too much detail on that one, no?
No.